Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into another fun-filled episode of the Twilight Zone. This time it is Season 3, Episode 28, The Little People. Came out March 30th, 1962. Another episode I haven't seen before, but before we get started, let's jump into your comments to last week's episode. Greg number 5 says, Serendipity, this episode originally aired the week after Easter and you accidentally reacted to it the week before Easter, 22/28. Yeah, kind of crazy how that happened because when I was recording it, it jumped over episode 28, recorded episode 32, and then went back to episode 28 and recorded that one. Weird how that happened, but yeah, maybe it was fate for me to watch it. Luckily, the Twilight Zone isn't one of those things that you have to watch in order. I can watch them out of order, so there are no spoilers going to be given, thankfully, watching it out of order. B. Christopher Gordon, 9562 says, The Little People was great. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope so. I've enjoyed every Twilight Zone episode, basically. There's just been good episodes and great episodes, and hopefully The Little People is one of those great episodes. Rig Patin says Trump would have deported him and claimed cancer is a hoax. Well, Rig Patin, we don't really talk about politics on this channel, but thanks for the comment anyways. Sean Bumstead, 1250 says, sorry I missed the live. I went to bed early. Hey, I totally just missed the whole entire day. I'm a little late getting this out to you. Sorry about that, but no problem getting to bed early. You can watch it later. It's okay. And I will be getting back into the other television shows that I've been watching, like Tales from the Crypt and The Outer Limits. I've just had a hard time getting everything going with where I've moved to and whatnot, and it's just been a lot of work here lately. So I always do the Twilight Zone, though. It is the staple. SoCal Paul 487 says, this episode always reminds me of The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951. I can see that for sure, because, well, I don't know, Day the Earth Stood Still, that guy was kind of threatening to destroy the world, wasn't he? I mean, Ray says, heavy-handed, don't fear outsiders, story that, for good reason, few remember, nothing happens. Yeah, I mean, it was an okay episode to me. It was a little bit on the heavy-handed side. I do agree with that when it came to Don't Fear the Outsiders. But I did like the episode. It was a good episode, but it didn't really grab me compared to episodes before it. Reign Supreme says, to think the number of illnesses cured and lives saved with a little more faith in one another. A good episode. Yeah, I mean, I did like that ending in the end that, be good to one another and, hopefully maybe something good will come out of it. I mean, you can take that away from this episode as well. And these people did not look at it that way. We're savages. We're humans. We don't think in terms of peace. Like, let's kill everybody instead of, like, actually doing things like, I don't know, shaking hands and singing Kumbaya. Jonathan Stein says, another one of those episodes with a timeless message. True, this is definitely one of those things that can work in any time. The Destroyer says, I've always enjoyed this episode. It reminds me, as you said, what frightened, paranoid being we humans are. I love the idea of Twilight Zone sequels and immediately thought of the Marvel Comics animated What If series. This would be a cool way to explore the sequels so we can finally figure out if the Martians' plan works on Maple Street, or if Flight 33 finally finds its way through the time warp, or if Mr. Chambers becomes part of a 3-course meal. And Rick Kinnett says there was a sequel to It's a Good Life titled It's Still a Good Life in the 2002 Twilight Zone revival. Yeah, I do remember reading about that a while back in one of the earlier episodes, which ended up being It's a Good Life. And they talked about that episode 30, 40 years after the fact. Pretty cool that we actually got to see a continuation of one of the stories. But yeah, I'm definitely with the Destroyer because I did talk about that last time about possibly doing episodes for the channel that would be kind of sequels to what we've seen in the Twilight Zone. Of course, we couldn't call it the Twilight Zone. We'd have to make our own interpretation of it. But it would be interesting to see where these people went. And interesting that you would bring up Marvel Comics What If. I loved What If. I think it's a great show. I think it's one of those shows that, it comes out around Christmas time, so it's always one of those things that I sit around and watch about every morning when I would wake up. There would be a new episode, and I would check it out. Yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't seen Marvel's What If. It gives you an idea of what would happen if these Marvel characters were to go down this road instead of that road, Jack Dorsey 4850 says, like it a lot, good idea. You'd have closing some of the open-ended episodes. Yeah, very true. We just went over that. So, I mean, I think it is a good idea and maybe something we should jump into at some point. We'll see. With all that being said, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Continue on this voyage to episode 156 of The Twilight Zone. And don't forget to stick around after the show to hear my review of the episode, as well as some trivia of things you might not know. Now let's jump into the episode and see what we're getting into.
The Twilight Zone.
The rocket ship.
Well, how'd you do?
It's repairable.
Oh, you sure picked a nice place to sit down, Fletcher.
I took you to the first mass of land that loomed up, Craig. I didn't pepper the nose of that vehicle with meteor holes.
You read me, Craig?
Loud and clear.
Then dwell on it. Now, we don't have much food or water. That's a fact. We walked away from it without a single bone out of place.
Hooray.
Now, how do you read me?
Loud and clear.
There are times when a man gets sick to death being led around by the nose.
Taking orders, being on the receiving end of a command, it's hard for you to live with, isn't it?
If I had my druthers,
This is the end of the line. Now, how would you sweeten the pot?
try me after dinner. I may feel up to charades.
I'm just interested in what makes you tick. What do you hunger for most, Craig?
Cheeseburger, chicken wings, maybe dessert.
I'd like a whole lot of people at my elbow. The more, the merrier. And I'd like Yankee Stadium right alongside. But I'd like them on my terms.
What are your terms?
I'd like to be the #1 straw boss.
Usually the one that likes to give the orders isn't the one that should be giving orders. So usually the ones who don't want it are the ones that need to be leading. That's how it is. A lot of voices.
What's the matter with you?
You didn't hear that?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Sound like whispers.
I heard something. I heard a sound.
Sound like what?
Voices. People.
This is interesting. Whoop.
The place is a barren landscape of a rock-walled canyon that lies millions of miles from the planet Earth. William Fletcher, commander of the spaceship, his co-pilot Peter Craig, as these two gentlemen will soon find out, because they're about to partake in a little exploration into that gray shaded area in space and time that's known as the Twilight Zone.
The little people.
Take a lot of walks, buddy.
I like strolling.
Where are you spending most of your time these days? Still hearing your voices?
Maybe.
I wonder where the sets came from on this one. They usually say at the end, usually in the trivia, they'll say like Forbidden Planet. This is what was used in that movie. They love to reuse that movie. Two suns. Well, two suns would be double the heat. I don't know how that works.
It occurs to me I haven't seen you take any water.
I'm a whiskey man myself, hadn't you noticed?
All right, what gives, Craig? Your water hasn't been touched in 24 hours.
Yeah, it's weird.
You've been taking off on your own private safari every morning when that double sun comes up. What do you find wherever it is you do go? You and me make that trek together, huh?
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm tired.
Look, Craig.
What is that? Is a box.
I told you, I've been looking around.
It's wet. You found water, didn't you?
Yeah, where?
About a mile up ahead, just a crummy little stream.
But enough for you to drink out of.
Yeah, why wouldn't he tell?
As a matter of fact, I've been testing it. I just found out it was pure a little bit ago.
I knew you were a grousing malcontent, but I didn't know you were a cheat.
It's just a variety of liking.
You don't mind if I look at it through the magnifier, do you?
What are we gonna see? Is he gonna see little people? I mean, it would be interesting.
Trees.
Yes, that's what they are.
Trees.
They were alongside of a stream. It's about 2.5 inches wide.
So it's a river to these people.
Look at it.
What is it? Pencil lead? A truck. It is little.
You want to see more, Fletch?
You know, when they said little people, I was thinking like maybe a foot. Not microscopic. It's like Ant-Man colonies. You better watch your step. That's a whole town, basically. Or is it a city? Whoa.
That clump of little green weeds is so much moss. And that stream is a river. You'll see a couple of other items that aren't par for the course.
They're gonna be looking like, what the hell?
It's a whole race of people, no bigger than ants.
I want to see it from their point of view, like looking up, going, what the hell?
I don't know it yet, and they don't know ours, but they do know mathematics.
Oh, so they're talking to each other.
I've told them all my once. They're showing me where all the edible plants are. Well, last night I think I ate up one of their forests. But I've only scratched the surface, Fletcher. I've only just begun.
No, don't be that kind of person.
Begun what?
Some dictator. Play God.
All my life I wanted to sit in front of the wagon and hold the reins. A whole race of little people who look up to me like a giant out of the sky.
I don't know if I see it that way.
They're scared, Fletch. petrified, and so they do what they're told.
Hungry with power.
To a god.
Craig, they're people.
Because they've been created in my image.
Oh.
That's not what you are at all. By now, you've probably gotten them to believe in the devil. I'm sorry. Please forgive us.
Oh, they're wanting to go to war now, probably. Commercial.
Craig! Craig!
Where'd you go? It's probably hurt.
Even gods have to observe some of the amenities. Good likeness, huh? The little people did that. Like the Lilliputians with...
He made a monument to himself? That's ridiculous.
It's too bad they don't know who they're breaking their backs for. Now, let's get back to the ship. We're taking off.
What do you mean?
The orbital position here is perfect.
You fixed the ship?
And 100 years from now, when your little friends realize how they got taken, and that I'm the guy that removed you from their lives, who knows? Maybe they'll build a statue to me. Sick, scared little man full of delusions of grandeur. Let's go, buddy. We have no...
This one you'll have to navigate on your own. Throw your gun over here.
Sucks that they have guns.
You've only got about 12 minutes, Commander. Or you can play it smart, get aboard that ship, and head for home.
You're gonna play make-believe for another 48 hours, then you're gonna crack wide open. You're gonna die of loneliness, buddy.
Put the gun away and come with me, huh? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, just leave. Maybe come back with some people.
If you're still here, 8 minutes from now, we'd have to kill you. Just room for one god.
Craig, I feel sorry for you, buddy.
See you later. Destroyed your monument. Now they're gonna show the outcome of this. Like, will he be here for 40 years, or will the society just completely turn on him? And I don't know. Are there other towns and places?
My little friends, the new age. The age of Peter Craig.
There goes the rocket.
Oh, my little friends. A lot of plans to make. A lot of projects to work out. Much work. A whole lot of work.
Jeez.
That's a reminder, little friend.
Man, I hope they take him out.
There'll be periodic moments where I must remind you that you must not anger me.
Oh, he's gone mad.
Let us begin to build the statue again.
What's going on?
It's just a ship, that's all it is.
Uh-oh.
I told you it would go away.
What's that? Oh, he's a little person.
You can't stay here! Go away!
Funny how that works.
I'm the god, don't you understand? I'm the god!
Man, a tiny little man.
Dead.
Well, you crushed him to death.
I didn't mean to. Say, do you suppose there are any more of them down there?
Oh yeah, there's a whole city. They're just too small for you to see.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Oh man, he made his end in a great way. Oh, they're tearing it down. Yay!
A victim of a delusion. In this case, the dream dies a little harder than the man in the Twilight Zone.
Well, that was the little people. I didn't really know what to expect going into this episode. I wasn't sure what kind of little people we were talking about here, but I definitely enjoyed the episode as a whole. I thought it was interesting to see where this was going to go at the very end. I wasn't sure exactly where it was going, other than the fact that we knew the guy was very power hungry, and that's exactly why he stayed behind to control that massive society that he had at his thumb. And it's too bad that he shouted out at those two massive beings at the end of this episode, and they ended up picking him up, accidentally squeezing him, and just tossing him away like he was like some kind of cockroach. And that's basically the size he was. Kind of sad to see him go that way, and his friend took the great route of leaving, getting out of Dodge, and luckily found his way home. And again, a lot like those Twilight Zones where the the person who's usually morally right is the one who ends up actually surviving. Once in the blue moon, you'll hit one of those episodes that isn't true, but for the most part, it seems like the ones who are jerks are the ones that bite it at the end or end up, in a really not good spot. But anyways, let me know, comment below what you thought of this episode. I'd like to know your thoughts, and I will go through your comments in next week's episode. Now let's jump into some trivia and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. The rocket launch depicted was in reality a test flight of a Mercury Atlas booster. This was quite timely. This episode aired about a month after NASA's John Glenn became the first astronaut to attain Earth orbit upon such a rocket. Both of the main actors in the episode were Twilight Zone veterans. Joe Morose appeared in Third from the Sun 1960, and Claude Atkins was the monster Ardu on Maple Street. Both really good episodes. I definitely remember those. And Third from the Sun, it turns out he ends up playing like another astronaut. Kind of funny. Got typecast. The weapons and giants uniforms were reused from Forbidden Planet. I told you that was going to pop up. Along with the invaders and stop over in a quiet town, this is one of 3 episodes to feature a giant race of aliens. Well, that's good to know. And that's it for this episode. Let me know, comment below what you thought of it. Until next time, see you later.